Hey guys, Chris here, back from CNH Small Engine. Got a quick video here for you guys today. We had a custom machine here it was about a week and a half ago, and we got the machine ready to go actually yesterday morning because unfortunately the parts we had to order from two different vendors, one from Husqvarna and the other one was from the actual manufacturer, which was Kohler, for the actual engine on this machine here. The customer, they originally called us up and they're complaining their Husqvarna tractor would not start, and we asked them on the phone, did you know what, what's the primary problem, because will not start can mean like two different things. It can mean the machine will not crank over, or it'll simply crank over and it will not have the engine firing properly right there for that. So the guy just said the machine will not crank over at all, so he basically brought it over to us, and we evaluated the machine and we called him back in about 4 days because we were working on a few other jobs as well too. So this is the machine's designation here, the Husqvarna. Give you a shot of the actual identification tag right here, YTH20K46, powered by the good old Kohler Courage engine. And I tell people you have to have a lot of courage to buy the Kohler Courage engine because they typically are a lower quality engine out there, to say the least. And we actually had at least 3 ones that actually grenaded over here because the actual cam on top of the engine is plastic on there, and it basically broke apart and caused the engine to basically kill itself, unfortunately, right there for that. This one right here, this guy needed a boatload of work done to him, and the actual balance due right now is about $345 on the actual work order right here for that. And I'll give you a shot of the engine right here as well too. Here's the good old Courage 20, Kohler Courage 20 engine on here. This is the one with the good old twin cam design on here. The engine has full pressure lubrication, cross flow cylinder head, acoustically dampened air induction, and the other side over here for the specifications on here as well too. Full pressure lubrication, the same thing on the other side. Anything else, they just have 2 different tags, and they're basically the same thing on each side right there for that. So this guy's machine needed a boatload of work done to it right here for that specifically. I'll give you a decent rundown of what was actually needed to get the machine running properly. I gotta get my sheet out of here as well too for that, but there's about 7 or 8 things on here. The first thing was the oil was extremely low in the machine. We had to add a quart of oil, needing a new spark plug. The overhead valves needed to be adjusted to spec. The battery needed to be cleaned up, charged to spec. You need a new OEM carburetor, new OEM fuel filter. The tank and lines need to be cleaned up. You need a new motor deck drive belt, 2 new pulleys for the transmission system on there. And that was basically everything actually needed to be done to this machine. The other problem we found on here, this guy has a lot of hours on it. I think it's like 700 hours, I believe. Let me double check the actual numbering on here. Let me see. Yeah, it's he got. Let me see if I can get a better shot here for you, so you can get a better angle here. Stupid things in the way right here. Let me see if I can zoom in here. He got 753. There we go. Sorry about that. 753 hours on his tractor. So this machine has been used quite heavily, to say the least, and it looks like it was actually kept in some kind of indoors as well too, because there's not a lot of rust all over the machine out here as well too. So the guy actually kept it indoors the whole time, and we did find that somebody was monkeying with his machine specifically for that. And what I talk about that specifically is the guy, somebody who's working out before us was dismantling the fuel shutoff solenoid on the bottom of the carburetor. So what we did was we ordered a brand new carb and installed the old bolt from the old carburetor into the machine's bottom on here. So we had just basically left the solenoid wire off on there and took the old bolt out of the bottom of the carb, stuck the new bolt into the new carb, and put it on as it is like that, so you can just keep it as it was when it was originally brought to us. The other thing was the guy did not have any kind of a fuel filter on his machine as well too. We did have to put a new Kohler OEM fuel filter on here right here. This is a genuine Kohler fuel filter right here for gravity feed machines. The guy's actual fuel tank up here, he had a boatload of debris and water in it as well too, and all that trash basically migrated down to the carburetor and caused the carb to clog up. And that's one reason why the machine will not start. And the other reason was the valves on the underneath the valve cover right here, they were extremely out of adjustment. They needed to be adjusted, so we had to get that done first and foremost. Had to change out the spark plug, and the other thing was we did change the oil out here, and he does have one serious oil problem on here as well too. This problem right here, we've seen at least five other engines out here where the actual casing is cracked. Somebody put JB Weld on this whole entire side of the engine's crankcase over. You can see right here. There's JB Weld there's shit all over the entire outside the block right here. Somebody tried to JB Weld some kind of crap, because we've seen this at least on 3 different verified models with the same exact engine design in the past 5 years over here, where it looks like somehow the engine developed a crack or some kind of a leak on the side of the engine. I don't know if it's a defect, but I'm thinking it may be caused from like low oil or something else like that. But they developed some kind of crack along the casing over here, somewhere along this side right here. This guy had a crack. Looks like it's right along here, going right down through the side of the block right here, and you can even see the oil residue right here as well too. There's a lot of oil basically laying on the side of the frame down here as well too. So this machine has definitely been, you know, abused in some way, and we did have to tell the customer this information first and foremost, because we are not going to lie to the customer and say the machine is in perfect working order out there when it simply is not. So that machine was definitely told, or I should say we told the machine, or we told the owner about the machine's current problems, because we have to disclose certain facts before you go ahead and repair a job, because I'm not going to be accountable if the information is not disclosed to the person up front. And here's the designation for the model number and tag and information like that. You got your serial number and model number right here on the side. This is the SV600S, specifically SV600-0024, and you have the build date of 2007. The month was 7 and the day is 11 right there, and an OEM product number 409573. This is Kohler engine, made in Kohler, Wisconsin, USA, as the name has it right there for that. I should say it's that's the actual the actual company is located. I think they're made in China right here specifically for that. So if someone can tell me otherwise, I really appreciate that one specific fact. But I think these things may be made in China. So if somebody has any other information about that one specific aspect, please chime in and correct me if I am wrong. Okay, we'll move on to the back. We did have to replace the deck belt on the machine here. Give you another shot of that. Bring the deck down here. Deck belt was totally off the actual deck underneath here. We put another genuine OEM belt on here, nice and thick. This thing works perfectly fine now. The old belt was getting extremely loose, and we also did notice the he had these pins for the guide pins on it. They were getting kind of loose as well too, because you have these pins to retain the belt in position so it does not flop off as well too. So always be mindful of that. Make sure everything's tight, because if your pins are not in proper position on there, your belt will have a hard time staying in position and may or may not fly off underneath there as well too. So always keep that in mind right there as well too. Okay, let me flip up the seat here. And we'll give you a shot of the battery area right here, plus the product and the other identification tag on a machine here. Here's your identification tag. Husqvarna, Charlotte, North Carolina. And you have your product maintenance level right. Let me see, I can zoom in here for you guys. Get a good shot, there you go. The camera finally focused. Product maintenance level and model number 960-45-0004 in a FAR category of 5. Serial number starting in 04. And the model number YTH20K46. These are sold at Lowe's, so that's the primary business that actually sold this machine specifically. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this thing fired up here for you guys, and we'll do that so you can see actually running here. Okay, get the deck all the way up. Bear with me here for a couple seconds. Okay, put on choke's all the way up. Got your mechanism right here. slows down. It's fast, and full up all the way up is choke right there as well too. So we'll go ahead and start up here. Make sure the your disengagement for the deck is all the way down, and we'll go ahead and crank the engine over here. Okay, fire right up. Nice and smooth. Engine's running okay. And we'll go ahead and see the lights are on for the actual hood. Okay, headlights are on, running okay. Looks good. We'll go ahead and shut them off up here again. Your headlights. They're off. Good to go. Flip back on. And they're working great. Okay, everything else looks okay. There's low speed for the engine. Engine seems to be operating okay. It doesn't have any kind of weird knocking, banging, and clanging sounds. We'll go ahead and gun it up here a little bit. So that seems to be okay. Good to go. Go ahead and drive it around here a little bit. Take the brake off, disengage the brake, disengage the clutch, because the clutch and the brake are the same. We don't call it pedal over here, you know, for disengaging your actual drive unit down there as well too. So, and your transmission over here is your speed selector. There's your forward, and there's your reverse down here as well too. We'll go ahead and do that. Full speed ahead. Driving okay for us. I don't hear any weird noise or anything else. We did have to replace 2 pulleys on the drive system because they were basically howling underneath the machine. The bearings were totally shot, and now the drive unit is working perfectly fine on the transmission's pulley system, because you have to have smooth pulleys in order for the belt to be functioning smoothly underneath the machine. And we'll drive it around here for a couple of seconds. Machine's driving fine. No abnormal signs. And we'll go ahead and engage the deck. Put the brake on first. Gonna get that up here. There we go. And let's engage the actual deck. Okay, good to go. That one more time. And the deck is working fine. So the machine's ready to go back to the customer. It's all ready to go. We demo tested it over here for a good 10 minutes before this, and it's running perfectly fine. So we have the customer currently scheduled to pick up their machine here, hopefully later this afternoon, be around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it should be out of here after that. And we did have to inform the customer they need to check the oil level on the specific engine at least every time they operate it, because the oil is leaking on the side of the block, as I said before, and it's also noted on the customer's receipt as well too, because you can see that again. I just want to make a note of that right now. Again, anytime you have oil leakage on the side of your engine somewhere right here, especially with this style of engine design right here, you have to disclose that one specific fact, because if you do not do that, the customer can come back and they can basically come back and you can try to sue you over that one specific aspect, because you're not open and honest about the problem the machine was currently having right there for that. So it's always a good idea to verify that symptom, put it on a receipt, and also take photographs of the leakage and make a video of it as well too, because you always have to cover your ass in the event that a jerk-off client may come back to you and say, oh, why didn't you tell me about this one specific aspect? So that's why we always do that and verify that by showing the customer the problem, putting it on a receipt, and they have verifiable proof that we are not lying to them. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about this machine right here, feel free to leave me a message here, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. This has been the quick review for the Husqvarna YTH20K46 powered by the Kohler engine. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.